Hi folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly take a look at Tally Ho. This game supports 2 players, it's for ages 8 and up, and the average play time is 30 minutes. Quite simply, this is a hunting game. One player takes on the role of bears and foxes, while the other takes on the role of hunters and lumberjacks. And they're going to be trying to maneuver their pieces around the board, both capturing each other and capturing neutral tiles that are on the board. And I know that sounds a little confusing, but if we take a look at the back of the manual, we can actually see all of the different tiles that are available on the board. You've got your bears and your foxes here, which belong to one player. The bear can capture the hunter and the lumberjacks. The foxes can capture the pheasant and the ducks, which are neutral game that's on the board. Then you've got the other player here who has lumberjacks and hunters. The lumberjack can cut down trees for points, and the hunter can shoot any animal, the bear, fox, the pheasant, or the duck, in order to get points. But they can only shoot in the direction that they're pointing, and it's very important that when you're flipping a tile over that you do it the right way because of the orientation of the gun. So you've also got some neutral tiles. You've got pheasant, you've got duck, and you've got some trees. Now to set up the game, basically you've got this board here, and you're going to go ahead and shuffle these tiles all face down and put them face down onto this board. The center space remains empty. Okay, so the blue player, or the player that has the animals, go first. Every tile that has an animal on it has a blue background, and every tile that has a hunter or a lumberjack on it has a brown background. So the animal is the blue player, and the hunters and the lumberjacks are the brown players. The blue player goes first, and they'll take turns alternating. There's one of 2 things you can do on your turn. You can flip a tile or you can move a tile. And each tile has different movement rules, so I'll get to that in a little bit. Blue tiles, the blue player can only move blue tiles, and the brown player can only move brown tiles. The green tiles just sort of stay where they are, but I'll get to that in a little bit later. The green tiles are neutral. So let's just go ahead and play for blue here, and whenever you flip a tile, you flip from the bottom up. So let's just flip this one over. And it's a duck. Okay. So now the brown player gets to go. They're going to flip it. Again, because they're facing this way, they're going to be flipping in this direction. So maybe we'll flip this one up. Alright, there's a fox. Okay, now that belongs to this player here. So now blue may decide, maybe I can flip one of these over and it'll be maybe a duck or pheasant, and then I can, possibly move there on my next turn and capture it. So maybe he's going to go ahead and take that chance. Or it could be a hunter, in which case that would be a bad thing. So we're going to flip that, and just so happens it's a pheasant, so that's good for him. Now the other player gets to go. The other player is going to pick a tile and simply flip it over, because there's nothing really to move at this point. So they're just going to go, let's just do that. Okay. There's another pheasant. Okay, now again, like I said, there's 2 things that you can do on your turn. You can flip a tile and you can move. Well, now the animal player here is going to move onto this and capture this pheasant. And again, that's what the fox is able to do. Again, if you look at the back of the manual, you'll see here that the fox can capture pheasants and ducks. And there's a score table at the end of the manual here. You can see how many points you get for each tile at the end of the game, whenever the game does happen to end. Okay, so for the interest of time, I went ahead and removed some tiles down here just to quickly show you what some of the other tiles can do. The bear and the lumberjack here can only move 1 space on their turn should they happen to move. The other tiles, like the fox, for example, or the hunters, can move as many spaces as they want, so as long as it's in a straight line. So this lumberjack here, let's say that this lumberjack was here, and then let's say that the other player did something else. Let's say he flipped this one over up here, and now this lumberjack can actually go here on top of this tree and cut the trees down. That's what his specialty is cutting down trees and clearing the way for the hunter so that they can actually have line of sight with the animals that they're hunting. And of course, whenever a lumberjack cuts down a tree, they score it, they put it in their own little pile over there. The bear can eat the lumberjack, so the bear could go after him on the following move and possibly corner him and eat him, depending on the situation. Let's just say that it's Brown's turn now, and he's going to go ahead and flip a tile. Now, again, it's very important the way you flip your tiles, because, again, from the bottom up. And because the reason is, whenever the hunter is flipped, the hunter will be able to shoot in the direction that the rifle is pointed. So it's very important that you flip the tile the right way so that you don't accidentally orient him in a different... like you can't... Whenever you flip him, you can't change his orientation to where you want him to go. But on a future turn, after he moves, you can change his orientation. But for right now, he's stuck in that orientation. He would want to go after that bear. So at some point, he's going to want to move over here, rotate his gun. But now the bear gets to move, and the bear is going to eat the lumberjack, score some points that way. And now the hunter gets to go. He's going to go ahead and go something like this and try and get a beat on the bear. But again, there's line of sight issues. So as the board gets emptier and emptier, it's going to be harder and harder for these animals to sort of hide behind some of these other tiles. So it's going to be a little bit luck-based at first, because you're going to be flipping tiles, and it could belong to your enemy, it could belong to you, it could be neutral, you don't know. But once you get about midway to, toward the end, midway through the game, about toward the end of the game, you're going to have more empty space with which to deal, and that's where the strategic play comes in. Now, eventually, there's going to come a point where all of these tiles will be flipped face up, and just for the sake of time, I'm just going to pretend like we did that, and this player captured those, this player captured these. We've got some face-up tiles. Whenever the last face-up tile is revealed, that signals the end phase, okay? And then each player after that can take 5 turns. Now, the game ends immediately if it's their turn and they happen to have no tiles of their color. In this case, we've got 2 blue ones here and 2 brown ones here, so each player can take up to 5 turns. Now, in addition to trying to sort of capture or hunt each other, during this phase you can actually leave the board here through these exits. There's 4 exits on the board here, and if you happen to get your character off the board through one of those exits, you can actually score them for points. So it's sort of, you could spend your last 5 moves trying to hunt the other player, or you can just try and reclaim some of your own tokens and score them that way. And again, once the game ends, there's a little score chart in the back of the manual. The bears wore 10, foxes 5, lumberjack 5, hunter 5, pheasant 3, duck 2, and tree 2. Now, to make sure that this is fair, okay, there's going to be a second round where the players switch positions. So the person that was the animals this round will be the hunters and the lumberjacks in the future round, and vice versa. And then you're going to take the 2 scores from both rounds, add them up, and whoever has the most will win the game. Alright, so that was a quick and dirty look at Tally-Ho. I didn't cover all of the rules in the manual, but this should give you the general idea. Again, this is a hunting game, and I find it interesting. I mean, it's not a bad game. Again, it's very luck-heavy at first because there is no room to move at all. So you're just hoping that you flip a tile and it belongs to you. And then when you flip tiles beside it, you're hoping that it's something that you can immediately capture. But if it belongs to your opponent, then you're sort of in trouble. So yeah, it's very luck-based in the beginning, but it sort of picks up on the strategic end toward the middle to late game. I do like the fact that there is a quick reference guide in the back of the manual that tells you, okay, this guy can move so many, this is how many tiles are on the board. There's 2 bear tiles. They're each worth 10 points. They can move 1 movement distance. They can capture in all directions. They can capture these targets and so on. And it just makes things a lot easier because each tile has its own special rules. And again, I do like the fact that there's a point chart in the back of the manual as well. So yeah, one thing I don't like though is that the background color of the tiles here match the board exactly. They're sort of like camouflage. Like if you're not looking at the board at the right angle, like these sort of just blend in. It would be cool if these would be like a different shade of green, or maybe a different color altogether. Maybe like a yellow color possibly, or something that will make it stand out a little bit. Maybe a lighter green, or something that wouldn't blend in so well with the board is what I'm trying to say. But other than that, it's not a bad family game. There's no violence, like there's no blood or anything like that. So even though there is a hunting theme here, it is playable. It can be played by younger kids, and you don't have to worry about things getting violent or anything like that. So Tally-Ho, not a bad game. It's 2 players again, and it plays relatively quick, about 30 minutes. So if you guys want to see actual gameplay of this, let me know. I'm sure Vinny will love to play this. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out my official website, www.dadsgamingaddiction.com. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.